I go around and I go around and I go around, I go around. I'm always out, I am always out, I am always out, I'm always out. I keep running so I don't have to go.
Hello, hello. So we're doing something today that I haven't done before, or just like the type of video I haven't done before. Think maybe more like podcasty. I mean, it also like does help that I have my microphone, but think more podcasty, think more chit chatty, think more. Okay, so I'll just like something lighthearted to something like a little bit deeper. This video is coming out, I think, on June 1st. I would officially graduate from university on the 10th. Like, that's when my ceremony is. But I finished my last final on April 16th. I mean, I wasn't quite sure if I was going to make this or not, but I was like thinking, okay, I definitely want to make something that's like post grad, but like, how exactly do I go through it? How do I plan around it? And I kind of had an idea, but then just mentally, it was like not going okay. Honestly, it was really like last night I just sat down and I was like, maybe I should talk about it. To be perfectly honest, I was thinking about it before, but I was like, I don't know if I should talk about it online because I feel like I do need to process things myself. And then we like reach out to other people, see if other people are feeling the same way. But finally, I decided last night, no, you know what? I want to make this a little like series. I'm going to call it, let's say, like Post Grad Diaries. I have like 6 episodes, I guess we can say, that I do have planned. So we're going to spread it out throughout the summer. Probably, I don't know if it's going to be only like June and July or it's going to continue into August. That's what we have planned so far. So today, episode 1, if you're new here, my name is Mila. I make everything from no longer college, but I guess like post grad, lifestyle, and then bookish type content. We also sometimes, have fun, rank reality TV shows, and sometimes do a little tier ranking. No, wait. We break down reality TV shows and we do a little bit of like tier ranking for songs or for fun things. So a little bit of everything over here. If that sounds fun, definitely hit the subscribe button down below. So, I know that you want to see these videos, I guess. But yeah, that's what I was like thinking with this concept. Have a post grad diaries, have a few episodes, just have it be like super, super chit chatty, podcasty theme. If this, like, okay, I've always had in the back of my head, like, do I want to start a podcast? Yes, no. People were telling me I should, but I never really, I guess, committed. I've never like wanted it like that bad. But if you guys like this, I definitely, I wouldn't be opposed to like making this more like podcasty than to have like a podcast episode maybe once every single 2 weeks, depending on if I still want to post what I'm posting. But that we can figure out on a later date. But for today, I want to talk about, I guess you can call it like post grad blues. I was having a very rough time. I mean, I don't have it currently because I feel like I was able to process things, but I definitely had a lot of not problems, but just like qualms. That is such a weird random word, but like the only thing that pops into my head was like qualms. I've had not struggles, literally qualms is the only word I can think about, but I struggle a lot with, I guess you can say, identity. I did have a little bit of this like, who am I? Like, I feel like I don't have value. Not that I don't have value, but I don't know who I am, or I feel like a part of me is like missing. My identity is like missing. I felt that back in January because if you do not know, I was part of a sorority. I was the president, but I did have to resign early because of like some drama. If you want to know about that, I brought out a video, my 2024 wraps where I talk about it. So all the tea, all the drama is there. But I resigned, I think like literally October 1st. So I still had like the lead up into the semester with that. So even though I wasn't president anymore, I still prepped for this. I still had it. And yeah, I knew like if I stayed, I wasn't going to be president in 2025. But I was like, I'm still going to have that identity. I'm going to like, people, like, I'm not going to be the president anymore, but people still see you as that. Like every single previous president, there's some like respect, or there's some like, yeah, sure, someone else is the president, but you're still like up there, right? It happened to girls before me. I was sure it was going to happen to me. So I still had like a little purpose, I guess you can say, like outside of school. I was still going to have this like community. And honestly, like leading up to January, I didn't think much of it because I had like other things going on. And I was like, anyways, I'm not going to be president. So like I don't have to prep. It's going to be fine. But I think at the end of January, that's when it hit me that it was like, I feel like part of me is missing, and I really think that it goes back to not having the sorority. So, why am I talking about this? It's because something that was so prevalent in my life that made up such a big part of my identity Not that it's, like, not good to make things going on in your life be part of your identity, but it was such a big part of, like, I guess, my social identity that when it was gone, I was like, "Part of me is missing, part of me is gone." I kind of dealt with that throughout the semester. I felt fine, I met other people, and everything was, like, love, laugh, love. But then I finished my last final, and that entire feeling hit again, but much stronger because it's not just like, "Oh, I'm like not in this anymore. I'm not present. I don't have this community. I still have like other things going on. It's like I'm fine." Now it's like, okay, I'm graduating. Some of my friends from the sorority are also graduating. Some aren't. So we're all going to be entering like very different phases of our lives. And it's not like I have friends that didn't graduate before me. I do, but I see, okay, our lives are so different that yes, it did kind of put a strain on our relationship that I'm like, how is it going to change friendships for me today? So, a big topic I did want to talk about, I'm going to try to like make this cohesive is I kind of like wrote down, okay, like which points I want to like go through and I'm trying to make it like make sense, not be like jumping back and forth. This is really just to talk and be like, you're not alone, other people are going through this, even though you might not see other people going through this. Other people are going through this. It's okay. It's perfectly normal. And hey, you know what? We can talk about it because I'm struggling. Like, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm struggling. Life is not going great. And this is me like trying to find people who also are struggling. And it's also like an outlet for me to like feel better about myself. But yeah, so big number one topic friendships. I'm someone who had like a little bit, I think I could call it PTSD from friendships. One of my like best friends from high school, we started drifting apart because she was like prioritizing someone else over me. And seeing her slowly pull away, I would, compare it to someone who you're dating, like slowly pulling away. And it's like, you can tell, something in your gut knows, okay, like this person switched, right? I feel like some people might know what I'm talking about. So I'm so much more aware of that when it comes to like other people because trauma from the past. I admit I do have a bit of trauma from friendships, and I used to take things so personally when someone couldn't see me, someone had to cancel plans. That's something that I have been working on, and I recognize I've gotten so much better. But I've always had, I guess you can say, a little insecurity about friendships. Not that making friends was hard for me, but I'm someone who I feel like I'm very like ambiverted, or like it really depends on my mood. I know I'm an extrovert, I'm a social person. I need people to energize me. Like literally days when I don't talk to people, I'm at home, I'm not doing anything. I feel so tired, but the days that I have like five different things going on, I can come home at like 12, be super energized. Like I want to go out again. I want to see more people. I know I'm an extrovert, but I'm not always someone who would like start a conversation first. I tell people I'm a shy extrovert where it's like, if you come to me, my first time meeting you, I'm gonna like just talk and talk and talk. But will I be the one who makes the first move to talk to you? Not necessarily, but I get my energy from like other people. I'm an extrovert, but making friends isn't super, super easy. And I feel like I had a lot of surface level friends, especially in the sorority. And like, not to say there's anything bad about these girls, it's just that I didn't feel comfortable opening up to you like it was with like other people. So actual friends, actual friendships where I can literally tell you my deepest, darkest secrets, literally tell you anything. I don't have that much. So I was so scared that once university ends, am I going to be losing friends? Because once again, we're in such different places in our life. We're all doing a bunch of different things. Give me a second. I want to take my cardigan off because I'm like a little bit hot. But also, like, how am I going to meet new people? I think I just had a bit of like maybe like a crisis. I was like, how am I going to meet people? I'm not going to make any friends. I'm going to be thrown into a whole new environment at like a job, if I even get a job, and like dating. How am I going to meet people? Because most people who I meet are like friends of friends or people in my class. Like, yes, it's from proximity, but it's like I need to go up to people. I need to start conversations. That is terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. So, the whole thing with friends that I feel like stresses me out, and I'm sure it stresses out like a bunch of other people, it's like, how do I make friends as an adult? There's so many things on YouTube that I've seen. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, some of these have popped up on my, I was going to say For You page, on my Discover page. And I was like, oh, let me watch it. But I feel like I left the videos not feeling confident in like how to do it. So honestly, maybe a future episode of like Post Grad Diaries is like, really challenging myself to like talk to like I'm gonna kind of get into this, but just like talk to more people try to start friendships. I feel like where I want to take this series, it's like gonna have some parts where it's like very chit chatty. I open up and it's like, we're both dealing with things. Other times when, I feel like I found a solution to something and I'm like, I discovered this, like, let's try this. This is how it helped me. Like, let's all do this to like get better. Think of like your friend sending you a snap to like document her recent epiphany. That's what I'm going with this like little series. Yeah, I was like, how do I even make friends? Okay, my brain like really went far. It was like, well, what if I don't have anyone at my wedding? And I'm like, girl, you're not even dating anyone. Like, what wedding are you talking about? But that's where my brain went. And it was like, how many bridesmaids am I gonna have? Like, how many people are gonna be at my wedding? And it's like, you have so many other important things to like think about. But the fear of being lonely, the fear of being, I guess you can say rejected, the fear of being left out when it comes to platonic relationships, that's terrified me. And actually, a way that I did kind of try to like make that fear better, this is where we get into the like I'm helping you part of the video. Well, for this topic at least, because I feel like I didn't find the solution, but I found a way to like get myself more comfortable. I try to leave my house more, and every time that I leave my house, I try to start a conversation with like people, not like, the random person who's sitting next to me. I was gonna say train, not the train. We have a REM. It's a like above ground metro. I think some other cities have that. But I'm not gonna start talking to someone over there. But it's like when I go order my coffee, I try to find something to talk to the barista about that has nothing to do with the coffee. Like ask them how I mean, I always ask like, oh, how was your day and things like that. I always try to compliment them or to like talk about something. And yes, sometimes they're like, "Oh, I really like your nails. I really like this, blah, blah, blah." That you can start a conversation with them, and that has happened before. But I really try to challenge myself to talk with baristas more. Like, yes, you are going up to them because you want a coffee, but there's no pressure as in like, this is a random stranger who you wouldn't have like talked with otherwise, which I actually like. I feel like it's so much easier because you are initiating it, right? You're not waiting for someone to come to you. You are initiating it with the barista. So in the back of your head, like, yes, it's because you do want a coffee, but you're still starting a conversation. And I definitely feel like this has reprogrammed my brain a little bit because not that I go up to absolute strangers and like talk to them, but I see someone and I'm like, oh my God, like, do I go up to them and tell them about this thing, compliment them on that? I was maybe having these thoughts before, but I didn't have like the confidence to do it. And I feel like I'm slowly building my confidence to do it. So, like, literally compliment the barista on like, I don't know, their hair, their makeup, their nails, or just ask them, "Oh, like I was thinking about getting this. Like, what do you think? What do you recommend?" And it starts like a little conversation, and there's no pressure that this conversation has to continue because there's like probably someone behind you. And if there's not, they're gonna come in like 5 minutes. So I feel like it's a very like I was gonna say loose. I don't know if loose is the correct word, but very like easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl, an easy, breezy just way of like getting yourself used to starting conversations. I mean, I am an extrovert. I like doing it and I always want to like continue the conversation, but it's like I literally can't because there's like people behind me. So it might be easier for me and I do recognize that. But if you're introverted, I feel like try doing that. Like, try having interactions where you take the pressure out of it, or just like bartenders, when you go grab a drink with a friend, if you're only two people, try to sit at the bar. I wasn't someone who would do this, but last time I went out with drinks for a friend, we did this and we actually started a conversation with the bartender. Like, obviously, they have to go around, they're going to come back and forth. I think that was the first time that I surprised myself because I wouldn't normally do this, but I put myself in a situation where it could happen and I was pleasantly surprised. So that's like my biggest tip when it comes to like making friends as adults. Try to do that. And then who knows, you might have the confidence to like talk to this like really cool girl that you see and you guys might be besties. Who knows? I'm not making any promises, but that's something that really helped me. Like going back with friends, I know I have PTSD from friendships. I've talked about it with friends. Like I know my triggers, I know my patterns, and I really try to control it. And it's not easy because I realize that I looked into it. I think the wording is different, like where you look at. I think I have a fearful, avoidant attachment style, which is not fun. It's really not fun. But I feel like the good thing is that since I had PTSD with friendships, I would either, depending on the day, become really anxious and completely pull back and avoid and become avoidant, or be completely avoidant and removed and then like become anxious, or it's like it's very either or but to the extreme. And I feel like processing this PTSD, knowing my attachment style, I am trying to find the balance in between. I've experienced both extremes that I can tell myself, okay, what you're doing here, it's really avoidance. Let's try to overcompensate with anxious. but let's not go all the way over there. Let's like tone it down a little bit. And I feel like I'm slowly fixing my attachment style, which I love. But then going with like, oh, how am I going to make friends after university at like workplace and just as an adult? It's like, am I going to lose friends? And what do I do when I lose friends? I'm currently going through something where I was supposed to go traveling with a friend. It was my graduation trip. So it was something that meant a lot to me. I'm obviously not in Monaco. I haven't talked to this friend for 3 weeks. Because of my friend trauma, I wanted to just completely pull back from her and be like, okay, you don't care about me. You obviously don't like respect me enough because you know how important this trip was. I don't want to talk to you. Screw you. Goodbye. But I was like, no, okay, that's your avoidant attachment style. Try to, find an in between. So that actually really helps me like fix my attachment style. So I'm not going to say that like, losing friends or like your issues with friendships, it's not going to be hard, but try to use that to fix your attachment style if you might be more anxious or more avoidant, because that's a thing that not that I'm like thankful for, but I guess I'm grateful for with this experience. It's like I am fixing my attachment style. I'm becoming better. But yeah, this friend, she was someone who was like super, super close with, and to this day, I don't know what's going on with her. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, I know I'm going to be losing friends, but I never expected that the first person would be you because we were so close. But it broke my heart. It kind of put me in a like very closed off headspace because I was like, I lost you. You're one of my closest friends. Like, I don't even want to meet other people. I'm not saying that it's an easy thing, but I feel like it's a very normal thing. It just sucks when it's someone who you didn't expect it with. Because yes, there's some people I was more acquaintances with. I was like, I don't want to lose contact with you, but if I do, like, it's not the end of the world. For her, it really broke my heart. And for a solid week, I was literally crying nonstop because I was like, I mean, one, obviously, like, I'm losing out on this trip that I put my trust in you to like travel here for my graduation. But then on the other hand, this is not like you. I know that something is wrong. I don't think this friendship is over, but it really opened my eyes to the reality of like, it can literally be anyone who you lose contact with. But on the positive side, it made me realize okay, people who you love, who you want in your life, put an effort. You have to put an effort to not lose friendships. Yes, sometimes your personalities don't match and you're going to drift away. But if the person matters to you, put an extra effort. They might be super, super busy. So sometimes you might have to put more effort into them. But if it's a good person, if it's a good friend, if you have a history, and if you know, okay, this person isn't distancing themselves from me because they don't like me, it's external factors that are pulling us apart, put in the effort. Because once you guys get separated with your life, what's going to hold you together? You guys mutually putting in effort to try to see each other. Obviously, people told me that I knew about that, but I really put it into practice and I've been seeing my friends more often. I've been feeling just so much more surrounded by people because I'm actively being like, okay, like let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. When are you free? When are you on break? I'm free here, you're free there. Okay, I can compromise. We can do this, so you can compromise. We can do this. You have to put an effort. I'm someone who loves planning events, planning trips, things like that. And my friends, some of them are very like that. Some of them are more like, I guess, passive, not in a bad way, but it's just like that's how they are. I feel like it's not the word that I want, but that's the only word I can think of currently. Try to put in more effort. Yes, it might be against your nature, but show this person that you're extremely important to me. I don't want to lose our connection. I don't want to lose this friendship. Let's like, this month I try, this month you try. And like come to find a balance. So, yes, it like breaks my heart that I don't know where this friendship is going to go, but it also made me realize these like other things with friendships. I'm not saying, managing friends like after university is like easier hard, and like I literally just finished. I don't know where I'm going to be at in even like 2 months time in like July, right? But this is what I kind of like learn now. Obviously, if other things come up, I'm going to talk to you guys in future videos or make like a whole video in itself with like friendships. That's pretty much all I want to say for friends today. Let's like go side by side with friends. It's like, how do I make friends when I'm an adult? How do I find partners? I'm someone who's very against the dating apps. Like, if they work for you, that's amazing. And I've had some friends who have met amazing guys and they've been together for like years through dating apps. I'm very against it for me. Like, I'm not someone who's going to go on a date with you and it's going to be normal. It's like, I want to meet you in like a normal setting so I can see, like, okay, is there a connection between us? Because I'm a Pisces moon, okay? I know how I am. I like, meeting you before to see, okay, like, do I potentially see something with you? Is there like something about you that attracts me? Because, yeah, your face is like nice and all. You're not ugly. But it was really like when you open your mouth and we started talking that I was like, oh my God, you're like amazing. So I know dating apps are not for me. And I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, what do I do? But I feel like I need to talk to more people, need to put myself like out there in situations where I can talk to people. And if I see someone who has an amazing outfit, has like a super cute bag or something like that, go up to them and like say something. Maybe I might not be ready to go up to like this guy who I find attractive if I start doing it with girls. And who's to say I'm not gonna be confident enough to do it to guys? Like, obviously, I do have my like little insecurities where it's like, I'm gonna die alone, no one's gonna love me, like blah blah blah. I literally had like a mental breakdown over all of this, like this past month. It has not been an easy month. So I know when I'm talking to you guys, it's like, wow, she's like thought this through. She has a plan. She's like working on herself. Trust me, like literally a week ago, I was like in bed crying over this. But I feel like I'm the type of person who it's like I process what I need to feel, then I'm like, okay, actionable steps. What do we do? What's the game plan? How can we be better? And honestly, just talk to more people. Like, do whatever you can to make yourself feel comfortable. And I'm not saying I'm gonna like in a month start a conversation with like some guy on the street, but I'm like more confident, I guess you can say, to like, initiate the eye contact and be like, if you want to talk to me, you can. Obviously, I don't have all the answers. I think that I want to talk to my friends who have been like dating people for multiple years. Maybe, I don't know, get them on here or just like talk to them and like bring you guys advice that they have. This could be like a pretty cool episode for like Post Grad Diaries, like maybe one much more in friendship, one more in like relationships and dating. Oh my God, I'm running out of storage space on my camera. Give me like 5 seconds to fix this. I just saw I have 4 minutes left. I'm not gonna finish this video in 4 minutes. Oh no, oh no, oh no. So I lost my train of thought because it's been a good like maybe 10 minutes. But I looked at my notes and I don't know where I was going before I stopped to like empty out my camera. But I think I was gonna go with like, having to find a job and just like I guess like being alone for the first time in your life. Yeah, sure, you're kind of alone in like university, but you're still more like surrounded. But now it's like you're actually alone. And it goes back to what I was saying about like I felt like an identity loss because yeah, sure, I lost my circle, but I also lost a purpose. The big thing now is like you have to find your own purpose, which is terrifying because your entire life it was like, okay, I'm working towards this degree, I'm working towards this so I can get a job so I can have a future. You're at the point in your life now where it's like, okay, there's so much opportunity, there's so many possibilities, anything can happen. But it's also like anything can happen because like there's like you don't even know what to do, where to begin with. Like the world is your oyster, but you're in the Pacific Ocean. It's like, where do I even go from here? And that's something that I was struggling with. Like racking my brains to be like, what can I give you guys as advice? Because it's something that I am like working towards myself. I feel like you should know yourself at this point to be like, what is an absolute no for me? I'm trying to think of it as someone who does not know what they want to do. I know what I want to do, but I don't know what I want to do. Like, I'm someone who my entire life, I've always known what my goal was. I've always known what degree I was going to get, what I was like working towards. And yeah, it changed. Like I'm in the same like category, but it's like different specialization, but very easily you can have like switch between the two with like a bit of like extra knowledge. But I've always generally known what I wanted, and that was an engineering degree. Like I graduated from mechanical engineering. Initially I wanted to go more biomedical, so more making things for inside the human body, but then now I'm like I want to go into planes, which yes, it's two completely different things, but the basis is the same. Yeah, sure, I changed, but it was generally the same thing. And like I've always known what I was working towards. I always known that this is where I was going to go. But I was like, okay, you've worked your entire life for this. Now you got it. And yeah, some part of me is like, oh my God, I am ecstatic. It's amazing. But also another part of me is like, oh, well, that's it. Like nothing else is going to happen. Like you just get it and it's like you're expected to do other things. And it's like, yeah. So I feel it's the whole, you put all your energy into this. Like this was your entire purpose. And now once you reach it, it's like maybe I'd say underwhelming because you're like, the world moves on and it's like nothing happened. Right. So I guess it's like dealing with like not having a purpose because your purpose up until now, I think it was getting your degree. Some people know what they want to do. And I feel like if you've always known what you want to do, it's more of a purpose. And I feel like if you just went into a field because you're like, okay, by process of elimination, this is what's best for me. It might feel like a little bit different, but for me, my entire purpose was like, I'm going to be an engineer. And now that, I mean, I'm not wearing my ring today, but now that I mean, legally I'm not, but like I technically am. And it's like, I'm expected to like build planes. And this ties in with like the imposter syndrome. It's like I'm going to be trusted to make things and just seeing myself in that position. I don't know if it's like a lack of confidence in myself. It probably is a lack of confidence in myself, but it's like I guess my academics was always something I was like insecure about. That now trying to see myself in a position where it's like, I mean, hopefully fingers crossed, I would want to work in like aviation. So I'm going to be designing metallic tubes that are flying that could potentially kill hundreds of people. Like, I don't want to think of it that way, but it's like worst case scenario, people will lose their lives. And trying to see myself in that position, I'm like, that is terrifying. But that's where I want to go. And trying to see myself in this position, I'm like, I don't have the confidence to be there. So it's like I lost my purpose. But at the same time, even though I'm trying to like get back to my purpose, seeing how my purpose evolves, I'm like smacked with all the imposter syndrome where it's like, okay, should even be trusted to do that, which yeah, I should because I have my degree in this. I might not have all the experience as someone who's worked in the field for like even 5 years, but obviously because I just graduated. And I feel like I'm putting such crazy expectations on myself and comparing myself to others because yeah, you're gonna have some friends who come out of university, they have a job like that because they have a connection. Others, they get out of university, they're like engaged and stuff like that. Like it's hard trying not to compare yourself when this is basically the start of your life. And it's like, yeah, sure, someone might have a head start. Like think of Mario Kart, right? Someone might start with the advantage of being put in first. Someone might start with the advantage of having the star. Or someone might start with the advantage of having like the big mushroom. Just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you're not going to win the race. And that's what I keep on telling myself. We're all on our own different path. I'm saying this, but again, last week I was like really like overwhelmed with this. I'm saying it trying to convince myself because I know that it's true. But part of my brain is like not listening. So I'm trying to convince you and myself by saying this. We're all on our own path. We all have a different timeline when it comes to, I guess, friendships or relationships, or finding jobs and stuff like that. And it's like, yes, someone might find a great job like the first month out of school. Who's to say that they're not going to be miserable at it? Yeah, they're going to be making money, but it might be away from friends and family. They might be miserable. They might hate their life, but they just do it for money. And then in that case, it's like, okay, you living at home with your parents, like happy because you're doing what you want to do. Are you in a worse situation than them? I don't know. Like, yeah, you might not be making the same salary as them, but I feel like overall your life would be, I guess, better. You'd be happier. And it's like, we don't really see this. So I really try to like take a step back and like put things into perspective when I see other people that honestly I might be envious of. I try to put myself in perspective and it does help. Like again, I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy. It's something that I do struggle with myself. We're like two friends like chatting over a glass of wine. I was gonna say a bottle of wine, but like a glass of wine. And it's like, hey, this is what I'm doing. These are my struggles. This is what I learned. Let's like help each other, hype each other up. So by no means am I saying what I'm telling to you guys is like the ultimate key to like success and to reach like all your goals. It's what I'm learning after having processed my emotions and being like, okay, like snap back to reality. Like, let's fix our life. So yeah, imposter syndrome is huge. And I don't know, it feels like your life is like stagnant, but also, again, realize there's so many opportunities. Like, you can go anywhere. I don't know if I'm going to use this correctly. It's the paradox of choice. You have so many options that you can do anything, but you have so many options that it's like paralyzing. I'm honestly really thankful that I know the field I want to work in. I kind of know my 5-year plan, but I'm also like, there's so many options. Like, I can move anywhere in the world, and I'm Canadian, right? Personally, for me, the US is like out of the question. Even before the whole like political situation, I personally cannot get behind their, let's be honest, lack of gun laws. So that's something that I've always been like very like removed from. But recently, like, okay, I've never been to the UK ever, but something has just been like drawing me towards it, and I've never been. I don't know what it is. I think I mentioned it before. I want to work in like aeronautics or work on planes. There is like an aeronautics hub in the UK, and I was like, oh, Well, that is funny. That is funny. I'm gonna bring this up in like a future episode that I know I'm gonna film. I am scared to solo travel. Like I've never really done it before. I've been alone for like 2 days in a city or like moving cities in Europe while I was like switching from like friend groups, but I've never like fully traveled alone. I was like, something is like just drawing me to the UK. Who knows what opportunity is there? And it's like, obviously, I'm not gonna like completely throw away the plan I had for like my life in Canada. I just know that I'm being drawn there for a reason. Is there gonna be an opportunity? Am I gonna meet someone who's gonna lead to something? I don't know, but I was like, you're drawn there. Take that step for the solo trip and then see what happens. So, yes, there are so many options, but I'm trying to narrow down the options to make my life easier. Like, am I gonna apply right now to a job in the UK? No, because I know like realistically I'm not gonna get it. When I go there, you bet I'm gonna be walking around with like a CV because like who knows who you're gonna meet, who knows what's gonna happen. So yes, there's so many options, but I feel like put yourself in situations where you can meet people who can, I guess, like narrow down your options in a good way because you know what you want to do more so than narrow down your options because like they don't believe in you. Don't go around close minded people who are going to completely shut you off from like certain fields, but try to, again, put yourself out there to meet people who might open doors for you. You don't know who these people are. So really go talk to anyone. And this goes back to what I was saying before. Like it's very daunting, but take your baby steps. Try because you never know what's going to happen. Like I might go on this trip. I might have the worst time in my life, but at least I can say I solo travel. I had that experience. It's not for me. I wouldn't do it again. Or I can go have the time of my life, meet like some manager at this company that I didn't even know about that I'm like, "Oh my god, I would love to work there." Have a chat with him and then or her, have a chat with them and then literally work there within the next 6 months, right? You never know what's going to happen. So try to put yourself out there so you get the opportunity to experience what is meant for you. Like if you're just looking at all your options, it's extremely daunting, but literally doing things, talking with people, small things are going to tick off in your brain. Like one of my friends in at the beginning of February, she was like, "Oh, like, I'm gonna go there. Let's like plan your grad trip and my trip so we can meet up in the in the UK together." And then my other friend was like, "Oh, my dad is going to London for a business trip. He bought me a ticket and I'm gonna go meet him there, spend a few days with him." At so many instances this year, London came up, the UK came up. I've always known I want to go to Italy. I've always wanted to visit Rome. I've always wanted to visit Florence. Even though I was like thinking of going there for so long, I had a trip planned initially last October and then in March and then like literally I'm supposed to be going there like next week in like a few days, but it's not going to happen because of like my friend that I talked about before. I've never been drawn to there even though I've known I wanted this destination for like literally since before COVID happened. Like it was supposed to be my grad trip from like CEGEP, which is like high school, I guess, if you're not like in Quebec. That was supposed to be my grad trip for that. So it's been brewing in my mind for like literally years, but I've never felt drawn to it like I felt drawn to the UK. I don't know if it's just me having this like constantly in front of me or it's like a sign that it's like something is for you over there. Like, what is it? I don't know. I'm kind of like taking charge with my options, being like, the UK is a very valid option. Let's go see what's out there. It's scary, it's daunting. And yeah, as mentioned, like an episode in this little series, it's like getting the confidence to solo travel. Like, I'm not gonna spoil what I have planned, but I booked myself a little like trip within Canada to like give myself the confidence to prove to myself, like, you can solo travel and everything's gonna be fine. I am like really, I'm trying to go in with like no expectations, but again, taking control of the multiple possibilities. Like, think of Taylor Swift's song, You're on Your Own, Kid. If you're like into the lore, she gave a speech at like a university. I forget what she says, but then at some point, she's like, the bad news is that you're on your own, but the good news is that you're on your own, that it's like, yeah, like you're on your own, which might seem like daunting, might seem scary, might seem like a negative thing, but then also you're on your own, like you can do anything you want. And it's like seeing the positive out of the situation that you're in. Glass half full, glass half empty. I've always been like a glass half full person. So I might be like, I'm a very optimistic person. So if you're maybe not as optimistic as me, like it might be harder for you to come to terms with this, but try to have a glass half full mentality because I feel like you pick up on so many more opportunities just because you're more open to it. Like, I don't wanna go into, like, law of attraction, like, blah, 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 because I know some people are like, new age, like, spirituality, whatever. I believe in that, but not in the sense that, like, I can just do my, like, cute little fun manifestation and, like, it's gonna come. It's like, no, you do that to get yourself into the mentality to receive it, and, like, this is what you wanna do. You're gonna start giving yourself opportunities because you are putting yourself into situations where doors can open. Like, I hate when people talk about law of attraction and manifestation in a passive way because it should not be passive. It should be active. Like, you are getting your mind in the place where you can, like, do the action, and then you are connecting. This is probably not gonna make sense, but you try to change your thoughts with, like, woo woo. Like, you have to be a little bit delusional, right? With your delusions, you are changing your actions, which will validate your thoughts, which will again push your actions. And it's like not a vicious cycle, but like a very positive upward cycle. Why did I get into manifestation? I feel like I was talking around in circles that I lost my train of thought again. Next time I make one of these videos, I am gonna like write down a better script. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to cover today. It was a bit of like me just talking about process emotions, talking about what I learned. It has been a month, let's put it that way. It has been a month full of ups and downs, but I feel like I process everything. I'm coming out on top. Like, I still have my insecurities, I still have my doubts, but we're slowly like getting better, getting to a healthier place. Yeah, some days are gonna suck. Some days you're gonna have like a breakdown, but I want to take this journey together, especially like in this summer where I feel like all of us, or I mean, at least if you're in like the same age range as me, we're all like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but you can think of it in a scary way or in a fun way. Think of it in a fun way. If you liked today's video, like today was much more like chit chat, even though I did have a bit of advice. Future videos, I think it's gonna be more like actionable things. I feel like I'm ready now to talk about things, to like take action. So more actionable. Obviously, we're gonna have some more like chit chatty episodes. But yeah, if you like this, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and leave a thumbs up. So I know to bring out more videos. Like, I do have, I want to say 6 episodes planned. Like, we obviously haven't talked about like, doing what you want to do now that you have the freedom. We haven't talked about like finding jobs. We kind of like touched on friendships and relationships, but we haven't talked about it that much. So this might be like a long-term thing. So definitely let me know what you think. If you want to talk about anything, comments down below are wide open. Or if you want it to be a bit more private, my TikTok, Instagram, and Goodreads are all linked down below. So definitely, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram. Yeah, I hope that this kind of gave you like a little bit of hope. You're kind of seeing the lights. Everything is not like depressing. And I'm gonna finish off with Taylor Swift, but you're on your own. You can do anything. The world is your oyster. You just need to have the confidence to take that step forward. That was a great ending. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up for today. Stay safe, protect your vibe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.